What's going on, Visionaries? Welcome back. Season 2. Like, it feels like just yesterday that this pod started, but I'm gathered here with my good friend, my brother, the Ben Garcia.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
Bro, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. Welcome to the 5-foot studio is what I call it.
We're actually in Ben's house upstairs. He has like a studio that he creates at, and we just smurfed it out for today's episode, the blue episode, bro. This was intentional about Ben and I matching shirts.
And hats.
And hats, yes. Ben and I have been friends for a super long time, and this shirt was, 2018?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 2018. He was a youth pastor, and I was serving on his team, and we took maybe like 200 kids to youth
200
camp.
people, yeah.
200 people, and we still got these remnants of back then.
Title fight.
Rocking it, 2023, 5-year-old shirt. But quick word from our sponsors. Today's episode is actually sponsored by Temple Fit. It's a personal training service out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I'll tag, her name's Elizabeth. She's a trainer. I'll tag it on the description. But personal training, got some merch, super dope person, super dope service. So if you're in Tulsa and need personal training, trying to get some goals done for 2023, hit up Temple Fit. So, bro, season 2, episode 1. First question that we ask everybody on the pod. You meet a stranger, they ask you what you do. How you explain that concisely?
Basically, I'm an entrepreneur, and I sell final expense life insurance from my house.
Oh, nerd alert. That's dope. That's dope, bro. So you also are like in social media?
Yes. So I do content creation as kind of like a passion project, side hobby kind of thing, which, funny enough, it's actually starting to pay me now. So
bro,
that's pretty fun.
Yeah. So I wanna pull back the timeline a little bit. So when we met, you had just entered like a ministry role, youth pastor. Can you kind of dive into what you were doing before then and what led into you doing that?
Yeah. So I went to college at A&M, starting my junior year. So I actually had to gig them, right? Yeah. Still rocking the ring. I transferred in there starting my junior year, but ended up graduating there with an animal science degree. Yeah. And A&M was the first place that I learned really what it was like to serve God, and the joy that I got from that. Yeah. And I realized, like, man, I'm in my groove when I'm serving God, and I just feel at peace and like I'm in purpose when I'm serving God. So that was actually over summer camps. Funny enough, I got involved with a summer camp called Sky Ranch. And I got to basically be a counselor for kids like 10 weeks in a row with a different batch of kids every week.
And you're like 18, 19 when this is happening?
Yeah, I'm probably, that's my junior year, so I'm probably like 20, maybe. But 10-year-old kids, 10 weeks in a row. We had a cabin full of like 23 kids at a time. And it's just crazy. It beats you down, but it allows you to rely on the Lord. Yeah. So that was a really cool experience. And then coming back off of that, I wanted to keep serving, so I joined my local church there in College Station area. Yeah. And ever since then, it was just like, all right, this is what I do. I serve God in whatever capacity he has me at. And that brought me back. Once I graduated, came back down to the Valley. My wife lives here. Then we were dating. We've been dating forever. Yeah. Since high school. Holly. Yeah. Shout out to Holly. We both went to A&M together. And once I graduated, came back down and just started working with a company called Aflac, which most of you guys are probably familiar with, right? If you're not, you probably don't live in this country, but Aflac Insurance, right? So did that for about a year and a half, and then as I was doing that, I was serving at my local church, and a position opened up for the young adults director
at TFC.
At TFC, the family church here in my city, McAllen.
My hometown.
That's right. Yeah. And it was a volunteer position, but it was pretty heavily involved. I mean, I would be teaching weekly, leading a team, all volunteer, and I prayed about it, and I felt like God wanted me there. So I took that position. Maybe about 3 months in, the youth pastor position opened up. Ricky, who you may...
Oh, boy. He came on the pod.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, so the people, Visionaries, you've met Ricky and Nikki.
Yes, Ricky and Nikki. So
so they were the youth pastors.
Correct. He was high school, she was middle school. Yeah. They were moving up, and that position opened up. They asked me if I wanted it, prayed about it again, and I felt like God led me in that direction. So I went ahead and stopped insurance completely. And
full-time ministry.
Went into full-time ministry now. For those of you who are in ministry, you don't go in it for the pay. Doing Aflac was definitely more of a financial thing for me. But what was cool is that this is just like a quick testimony. Tithing really takes your heart off of money, because you give it so often to the Lord.
Yeah.
And it's a constant reminder that like he owns it all anyway.
Yeah.
So when there's a financial decision to be made, it doesn't really get in the way as much, because you're already used to kind of surrendering it. Now it's a constant thing. It's not like, oh, once you tithe, it's all good. No, like it'll come back and
every paycheck. It's like a consistent heart check.
Yes. But because of that, you're able to make the God decision over the money decision.
Yeah.
So that's just a quick nugget there. But so I did that and was solid. Did that for 5.5 years.
You've been doing that, bro. Like, you just took this step towards full-time life insurance / entrepreneurial.
Yes.
Like November of last year?
October of last year.
Okay. Yeah. Bro, so Visionaries backstory. So I was serving at the family church as well here in McAllen. I grew up in the Valley my whole life, basically. So at that point, I was barely coming into the youth ministry. So I was like on the back end of Ricky and Nikki's stint as a youth pastors. So when Ben comes in, that's him and I basically started off together, right?
Yeah.
Youth pastor, worship leader, and we were running it, bro. But super quick random tangent. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Ben because of his like leadership and friendship. It helped me through one of the hardest times of my life, bro. I was going through a lot of emotional stuff, and I remember calling you. I was like crying that I was just like trying to filter through a lot of stuff at that time. Yeah. And you were there for me, bro. So we out here.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Bro. So now that you're you just transitioned out of ministry, what's that transition look like now that you're like now being a dad and like social media, selling life insurance? How's that transition look like for you?
Well, it's definitely been interesting going from, anyone who's gone from a W-2 employee to full-time 1099 contract, basically full commission. It's definitely challenging, but it's also cool because you hold your destiny like within your hands, so you can improve, you can get better, you can earn more, you can help more people. But yeah, it's been interesting, man. I've been able to be with my kids a little bit more, which has been
three
really
babies,
fun.
Bro.
Three babies now. Crazy. But
I'm getting you a TV for Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No,
we got plenty.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It's a myth.
It's a myth.
But so I've been able to pick up my son a lot from school, my daughter from, the nanny that she's at. And so being able to be with them throughout that has been really cool. Yeah. Because when it was ministry, like not to dog, it's a 9 to 5 and you're going to put in more hours even after that.
Yeah. It's like if someone calls you at like 8 at night, you got to.
Yeah. Or, a lot of different events throughout the week, that kind of thing. So it was really cool. One thing that really kind of opened my eyes a little bit was my son Judah. He was we went to church one time. It was the first time, keep in mind he's like 3 years old.
Yeah.
It was the first time myself and Holly brought him to church together.
Yeah, he had always
ever.
Wow, dude.
Holly always shows up, because I'm in youth. She comes to the main service, drops off the kids at nursery. I'm never around because I'm always in the other building. And then one day he tells his friend at church, he was like, "Hey, Jonathan," Eli's kid. Yeah. He's like, "Hey, Jonathan, my mom and dad brought me to church today." Like if it was some big deal. And at first I didn't really understand because I was like, "Yeah, dude, like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, we brought you to church. We always bring you to church." But then I realized like, oh, we've never brought you to church. Today was the first day. So he was like really pumped. So that kind of like hurt me a little bit.
You cried, bro.
But at the same time, that was right around when this transition was happening. So it was like, all right, cool. I'm going to be a lot more present. Yeah. Bring them to church together, that kind of thing. So,
bro, can you talk?
It's been good.
Give us some, you grew a lot, bro. 5 years in youth ministry. That's like not an
like
easy.
Grew? Or
nah, dude. You stay pretty lean.
Thanks.
But, like, talk to us about Ben who first started being a youth pastor to like Ben now. Because it's been a lot, dude.
Yeah. So when I first got in there, I'll be honest with you, like, I'm never prepared for what God calls me to do.
Yeah, you just
never. It's just like, do you want me to do this? Yes or no? Okay, yes. You're gonna supply what I need.
Yeah.
And so jumping into the youth ministry was like, it was a pretty big leap of faith for me. But when you take small leaps, it's almost like God gives you a bigger leap the next time, and a bigger leap, and a bigger leap. And so that one was my biggest leap, obviously. But
that's
yeah,
not
just
easy, man.
Honestly, the leadership that I had at the church was great. You know, being under Ricky and Nikki, getting to learn a lot from them. So it wasn't like I was left high and dry or anything. Definitely, there's some things that you got to figure out on your own and you got to experience on your own. But as far as like the day to day, like I always had support there. So it was comforting going into something like that where you do have support. So yeah, but you know, it's definitely a daily thing, man. Just slowly growing. Being hit with different situations in students' lives and stuff, and you know, trying to be there for them as best you can.
Yeah, bro. And then you also have to like pastor the team that you're leading. I've seen you super invested in that.
Yes,
like, not just the kids, but also the team leading the kids,
which is almost more important because they're the ones that are doing most of the ministry. I mean, you do the messages on stage and stuff, but that's the team that gets the work done. You know, boots on the ground. So. Excuse me.
You good, bro?
It's that Dr. Pepper. Yeah, so investing in them heavily is like a huge part of being a youth pastor or any team leader, really. Yeah. So yeah, but I love them, getting them, you know, hanging out at my house and stuff like that was really fun.
Bro, you inspire me big time, bro.
Dude, thanks, man.
Bro, I think it's almost midway point of the pod. Right now we're filming in Texas, 12 hours away from Tulsa, where we usually do. Ben, thank you for low-key sponsoring this episode by letting us use your space.
Absolutely.
Your studio.
Dude. Love it.
Bro, so season 2, I want to start with the social media deep dive.
Okay.
I'm going to show you a picture here on my phone. My videographer, Nate, who's still in Tulsa right now, he's going to put it on the screen so the people can see what we're talking about. So I'm going to show you the picture right now.
Okay.
You tell me the deeper story behind it. It's a screenshot from a reel.
From one of my reels?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So deeper story behind it?
Yeah, like the idea behind it and then what happened with it.
Okay, so that video just recently was my most viral video ever. And I posted it on TikTok a while back, well over a year ago. My son had just turned 2.
Yeah, give us a story.
So he turns 2. We do this little theme for him, 2 at the zoo. And I had this crazy idea of... He had a lot of toys already. Yeah. And I don't want my kids to be super materialistic. So I was like, you know what? Let's get him something that will actually serve him well, you know, further down in life. I always heard stories of grandparents getting like stocks for their grandkids and stuff like that. So I was like, let's do something like that. So I didn't tell everybody, but like the non-immediate family, I was like, hey, don't get him a gift. If you're going to get him something, get him either like clothes because he needs clothes or you can contribute to like his college fund. Yeah. If he doesn't want to go to college, that's fine. It'll be like for
like life money.
Yeah. Who knows what college is going to look like, you know, in 18 years or whatever. But, contribute to it because I'm going to put it in an MPI. It's a life insurance plan that grows over time. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. It's got a really good growth rate. So, I was already. You could actually, maybe depends on your health stuff. And all that. But
we'll talk about it off there.
We'll talk about it later. But anyway, so. I had that account already for him. I'd been contributing like $150 a month. I was like, hey, whoever else wants to join in, like we'll just throw it. I'll just throw it towards that, and it'll grow over time. So I did that, and I'm the type of person that just shares what I'm learning and shares what I'm doing because I know there's someone out there, the me like 2 weeks ago, that could have learned. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I shared it, and I put a little green screen and all that, you know, on TikTok, and people started to share it, and it went pretty viral. I mean, viral for like a normal person. Yeah. Which was like, I think 3.9 million views. That's big. Something like that. It was around there. Yeah. And then I posted it on Instagram when I started.
What was the TikTok?
Yeah. So it was originally a TikTok.
So and it went viral on both?
It went viral on both.
Man, dude.
And so when I posted it on Instagram, it got a few 100,000 views and kind of like died out. And then out of nowhere, it just like ramped back up as if I had just posted it again. And Reels will do that sometimes. But anyway, yeah, it popped off. And I put the story there like, hey, I posted this on TikTok and went viral, you know, over a year ago. And it was really just to educate people on the type of life insurance plans that are out there for them and their kids.
Shameless plug for your business right now.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, people reached out and stuff.
But you broke down the email that you have for him.
Dude, I totally forgot. Yeah. So I read this. Keep in mind, like a lot of the information I shared, stuff I'm learning, right? I read this on a blog because I Googled like cool gifts to give your kids or how to be a good dad. Yeah. And I saw this blog post that was talking about a guy who was writing emails to his kids and created an email for them. And I was like, dude, that sounds great. Like, I want to do that. And then shortly after we got pregnant, started the email for my firstborn son, showed him like the gender reveal, like sent him a video, like all that good stuff.
All on his email.
On his email, yeah. And so in the video I talk about that, how I started that and the little thing. And so it's kind of a mixture between the two. People like both ideas, some of them both, some of them just one or the other. But yeah, I got shared around a lot and liked a lot and viewed a lot. So
and now you're getting paid for reels.
Now I'm getting paid for reels, which is cool. Have you ever seen that one audio with Denzel Washington where he's like, it's from American Gangster. He's like, from now on, no one talks to me directly. Like, if you want to talk to me, talk to Huey. He's like, Huey, you talk to me, like that kind of thing. I saw a little reel of a guy who's like, when the $95 from Reels bonuses finally hits, it's like, don't talk to me. Like,
talk to you. Then you talk to me.
Basically, yeah.
So that's you. That's you right
That's
now.
me right now, yeah.
And then you recently had the other reel with Holly.
Oh, yeah.
Being a hamburger.
Yeah. That one was fun. Just to describe it to them really fast.
Yeah.
It's that song, Only Love Can Hurt Like This. And it's a video. It's a quick picture of my wife. And I put this quote like, as if she was saying like, would you still protect me if I was a cheeseburger?
Yeah.
And then like the next scene is this little kid crying eating the cheeseburger. It just goes, it was good. It was maybe like 4 or 5 seconds.
That one had more views than the two at the zoo one.
Yes, that one ended up popping off like crazy, and which worked out because I had just started the Reels bonus, and it goes paid on views, and so I think I'm getting a few $100 from just that one view.
Yeah, man. Quick plug: if y'all follow Ben, he has a lot of parenting tips, like business tips, influencer tips. Can you how would you summarize? The kind of content you create? So
I do the 4 F's, which is faith, family, fitness, and finance. And it's all from a perspective of like a young dad, basically. Yeah. Stuff that I'm learning, stuff that works for me, things that I like to share with people. So if you are in either of those 4 categories or all of them, give me a follow.
I got like 3 out of 4, bro. I just need the dad one, the father one.
Well, I'm not super like into fitness, but I work out. And so I know it's a big part of just life in general. Yeah. And so every now and then I'll find something that I like to share or want to share.
Bro, so kind of walking towards this back half of the pod, where did this dad entrepreneur name come from? What was
honestly, I just kind of wanted to set myself apart a little bit. I hadn't really seen that used. I know that I want to be an influence for good in that space with dads and just like families in general. Mm-hmm. And I think a big part of that was growing up in a divorced family. Mm-hmm. My parents got divorced really early. And so God really used that event in my life for good. And because of that, I wanted to learn how to be handy so I could teach my little kid to be handy. Yeah. And now like I can build things out of, woodwork, that kind of stuff, because I want to teach him one day. Yeah. And you
got that sauna downstairs, bro.
I got the sauna downstairs. Yeah. Like little stuff like that I've, from that hurt as a kid, has birthed like a desire to do better for my kids. Yeah. And because of that, like, I've learned a lot, and there's a lot that I'm going to be able to teach my kids, God willing. Yeah. And that's kind of where that whole like desire to make a positive impact came from.
Yeah, I love that, bro. What was I going to say? There's like some reels that I'm like, where did he get this information? Because there was like one that was even educational for me, because it was like, if your child's snacks has like this ingredient or this dye, or if you use this pan, like it may be dangerous to them. Like where do you even?
So I follow a lot of health guys online.
Yeah.
Dr. Huberman, like a bunch of different podcasts, and every now and then I'll come across some info that is backed by different studies. I like a lot of anecdotal stuff too. So even if it doesn't have a study, but there's a lot of people that are like, yo, this is what it's helped me in, then I'd try that. You know what I mean? Because not everything is going to have a study that takes years to like produce. Mm-hmm. Obviously don't follow just anything out there, right? But anyway, yeah, that's kind of what I'll see something, and I'll know that there's people out there that would love to hear that info, and I'll just repackage it, or I'll implement it in my life and then tell the benefits of what it's done for me. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. Yeah, just kind of share info that I'm learning.
Bro, so I know we're kind of explaining a lot of what you're doing like externally, mm-hmm. but can you kind of lead us through some of the stuff going on internally, like what's inspiring you to do all this? Like talk about making time for your family, spiritual stuff, like what's going on the inside.
Yeah, really just wanting to produce with the talents that God's given me and wanting to grow them. Obviously be there for my family, but make an impact on social or whatever platform God gives me. Right now it's social media. You know, before it was like a stage with kids and that kind of thing. But I always think about like the parable of the talents.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
And it's like, man, if I'm just sitting around doing nothing, like I feel like I'm wasting my life.
Yeah.
And I'm as guilty as anybody as scrolling through social media, just like doom scrolling, just like nonstop.
Not even, you don't even know what you're looking for. You're just looking for
yeah.
looking, you know?
Now I'm getting like ideas for reels and stuff, so it's somewhat productive. But that kind of stuff wears on me because I'm like, dude, I'm not fulfilling my potential if I'm on this too much, so I need to chill. But yeah, really just try my best to honor God and the gifts that He's given me.
Yeah.
You know, to help other people out, and if I can do that on social, then great. But that's pretty much the drive behind it.
Yeah.
And I've always had this like itch to produce content. It's really weird.
Yeah, we were talking about it.
But you know what's interesting? My grandmother used to run a radio show.
Oh yeah.
And I thought about this later because I mean, there's different traits and qualities, and even like spiritually, you know, handed down, like gifts kind of, and anointings. And so yeah, I've just always had this like, man, I want to produce. I used to have a podcast a little while ago, you know, before I did anything else, and that was really fun. But yeah, so I think that's
you're one of you're a cool example for me. Like whenever you put your brain on something, you figure it out, dude. You just figure it out.
It's a blessing, but it can be a curse as well if you don't have a handle on it, because what ends up happening is you get shiny object syndrome. I don't know if that's ever happened to you. It happens to me all the time.
So explain it for us that don't know what that is.
Well, there's going to be a lot of people that are like, dude, that's exactly me. Some of them have no idea, but it's when there's so many options out there.
Yeah.
That it constantly seems like there's grass is greener on that side. Yeah. And the way people paint things is like, oh, dude, this side hustle or this little thing is like so great or whatever. Yeah. And realistically, just pick one thing. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I've been learning. There's a book on the shelf right here. I don't know if you can see it on the bottom. It's called The One Thing. The One Thing. And that just talks about how people who are great choose to basically obsess over just one thing and just do it really well and nonstop. Like Mr. Beast is obsessed with YouTube, right? Going viral, that kind of thing. And he used to suck in the beginning, really bad. And now he's the best YouTuber on there. So, yeah, that kind of thing. So it is good that I have. That's my alarm. Sorry. That's okay. It is good that I have the
drive,
the ganas, right, to go out and like learn something new. Ganas. But I also need to take that and just be consistent with it. So, yeah.
Bro, I forgot to touch Good Home. Bro, this
little logo right there.
The logo right here, bro. Okay, we're going to have to recap because you're doing a lot right now. You sell life insurance.
Yes. That's the full-time gig.
That's the full-time gig.
Yeah.
You're on social media.
Yes.
Influencing, creating content consistently.
Passion project, side project, yeah.
And then let's touch this last one. Let's touch the Good Home. So it's in collaboration with our boy Rick.
Yes.
What do y'all do?
So basically, we fix and flip homes.
So you didn't pick the one thing. I'm just kidding.
No, I definitely didn't. No, you're good. So we fix and flip homes. We just finished 2 new builds, actually closed today, which is in the past when you're watching this, but closed today. And on the last one, and with the real estate market where it's at right now, it's kind of crazy. Yeah. So we're probably gonna diversify into something else. Because we just don't have the time. Like if I was full time fix and flip or wholesaling homes, like we could do it. But neither me or Rick are. So we'll usually do a couple deals a year and nothing too crazy. And we started back in 2019, like late 2019, early 2020.
Yeah, because I still lived here when y'all were still like getting it going. Yeah.
Yes. And so, yeah, it's been good. Learned a lot, you know, made some money on some deals, lost some money on some deals. And so it's like, you learn as you go. It's not as easy as people make it seem. Yeah. You got to hire the right people, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's been a fun side project. And right now me and Rick are like, all right, we got this. We got these homes sold. What's the next move? So we're going to sit and brainstorm and make sure we do some good.
Closing comments. If you want to speak some life into someone who, I don't know, I just feel led to, if you want to speak to someone that's maybe on their way out of ministry and kind of scared about what's next, speak some life into that person.
Yeah, I would say make sure you have a word from God or at least a piece moving forward. God literally led me from ministry into this, which sounds weird because why would God lead you away from ministry, right?
Yeah.
Like what people view as ministry. But obviously there's all kinds of ministries.
You can ministry.
There's a ministry
from your social media.
There's a ministry of giving,
Yeah.
according to the Bible. Like you could just be blessed to earn money and give. It just depends. But yeah, ministering through social, whatever it is, make sure you have a word from God. I had a word from God that I was like, hey, I need you to confirm this because this is a big move, especially with the new kid coming at the time, and he confirmed it 2 times, and I was like, all right, this is the direction that I'm supposed to be going in. And so I talked to the leadership and all that, and it went well. It's not always going to be received well,
Yeah, it's always hard to transition.
Yeah, and who's going to believe you that God told you to go away from being a youth pastor to do life insurance? It's not many people that are going to be like, oh, you're following the voice of God. Thankfully, my leadership was like super cool with it. Yeah. They understood. They knew I was trying to hear from God and doing my best to follow his leading. So that's what I would say. Have a word from God, or at least have peace moving forward, and then just take the leap.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. If God's behind you, you're going to succeed. Just keep doing what you need to do.
Yeah.
Put in the work. Take ownership. Go out there and do what you got to do.
Bro, and your example is a super dope example because, like, it's not like there was any church hurt or bad blood, like, between, like, those are still all your friends. That's still the church you attend today, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like, I think that's the best way to do it. I have not been the best about it in the past, but yeah, man, respect.
There's definitely much worse situations.
Yeah, it's possible. He did it. He made it. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. And I never wanted to go out in a bad light. I've had some family members who were in ministry who went out, classic what you see on the news kind of thing.
Drop the mic kind of situation.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't ever want to do that if I'm going into ministry. And, thankfully it didn't, none of that by the grace of God.
So, bro, before we leave, give people your socials, your @, TikTok, Instagram.
Basically, it's at Ben Garcia on everything.
Spell it out.
So it's Ben and then Gar, and then Sia, like see you later.
SEEYA. On TikTok too?
All together, yeah. TikTok, Twitter, everything.
Facebook.
YouTube.
MySpace.
Yeah.
All the things.
Basically, it's Ben Garcia on everything. And shoot me a follow. I mean, DM me, whatever. I'm always available to help people out.
I'll slide up on your DMs.
Hey, do it. Done.
Bro, thank you so much first of all, for letting me use your space.
For sure.
For being the first guest, kicking off season 2 of this journey. Thank you for supporting me, believing in me, speaking life in me. Love you forever, brother.
Love you too, bro.
Vision from Social. We'll see y'all next week.
Garcia in the next one.
I'm leaving that in, bro.
Don't see it now, but I learned to trust. You could do a lot with a little song. So I'ma let you hold everything I got, I'ma let it go. Tell the world, I'ma let them know. You the one like